Hello YouTube, this is Frank and welcome to the Hobbyist YouTube channel. And today in this video we'll be continually talking about our Pokemon / Dynasty Warrior illustration series. And today's subject matter is going to be Zhuge Liang wearing the costume from Dynasty Warriors 8. And the Pokemon that we'll be matching him up with is Lugia. And the subject matter of today's illustration is actually suggested by one of my patrons on my Patreon page. And the patron's name is Courtney Lines. And during our discussion, she mentioned that although the official title of Zhuge Liang, this character, is Sleeping Dragon or the Slumbering Dragon from the book, so naturally, more appropriately, we should be matching him up with a dragon-type Pokemon. However, since he is also the most intelligent character from the Three Kingdoms era, we also feel it's very appropriate to match him up with Lugia, which is a hyper-intelligent psychic-type Pokemon. And with that out of the way, let's talk about the drawing techniques and some of the challenges I run into while completing this illustration. So in our previous illustration, which features Zhou and Flareon, I talked about the new process that I was experimenting with, which is to use grayscale to block out the masking of the characters first before applying the line works. However, this illustration, because I'm not very familiar with Lugia, and just to confess to you guys, I've never played the second generation Pokemon. I've never played either the original Silver and Gold Pokemon nor the remake of the two. So to me, going into this illustration, I was very unfamiliar with how Lugia should look like. Therefore, I was heavily relying on the help of reference photos, and for the same reason, I had to start with the line work to first delineate the forms of this very unfamiliar Pokemon to me. And because of my unfamiliarity with Lugia, you can see that while I was trying to draw the two hands of Lugia, for Lugia's right hand, because I was following the reference photo, it looked fine. However, for the left hand, I tried to delineate the form of his left hand by looking at the bone structure and the anatomy of my own left hand. And you can see that during the first iteration, the left hand just looks completely off. Because after all, we have a very organic, very curved right hand that belongs to Lugia, while his left hand is a complete ripoff of a human's hand. Therefore, we have this huge discrepancy and it just doesn't look right at all. And I had to go back and look at some of the reference photos and fix his left hand to match the aesthetics of his right hand. And in terms of some of the drawing techniques or challenges regarding the humanoid character Zhuge Liang, I would say that I was more cognizant, I paid more attention to how the draperies, how the clothes fold at the joint areas. And for the color scheme of his costume, I was strictly following the reference photo from the 8th installment of the Dynasty Warriors design mockups. And overall, I really like the visual effect of his white dominant costume with sort of black, green, and a little bit of yellow or gold gilding. I think it's very elegant, and the overall visual effect really matches up with this kind of supreme intelligent character. And lastly, I would say that comparing to my past illustrations, which for the most part I try to retain the hand-drawn quality by retaining the penciling line works, this time around for this illustration I really tried to tighten up my line work, really try to clean up my line work just by cleaning up the whole composition by getting rid of the pencil lines. And hopefully you can see that thanks to this procedure, this illustration, it looks much more cleaner than my previous few illustrations. And I really appreciate Courtney Lyons, my patron, when she said that the presentation of Lugia really reminds her of the official art of Lugia. And I think going on from this point, I would try to make the illustration more professional by getting rid of the penciling lines. So alright guys, that's all I have to say about this illustration. If you have any suggestions regarding what kind of illustration you would like me to do, please comment down below on this video, or better yet, you can consider supporting me on my Patreon page, and the link will be included in the description below. And I will see all of you in next week's video. Bye bye.